Welcome back to Beards and Brews. This week's review is going to be Austin Powers, or formerly known as Austin Powers International Man of Mystery. That'll be from 1997.
That's the
Fellas,
first one.
let's go back to the 60s.
Bow, bow, bow. Ba-ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, baby.
Does this movie make you horny?
I mean, Elizabeth Hurley.
That is a good-looking woman. I'll just say that and get it out of the way. That's
Okay.
a good woman.
So we want to talk about good-looking woman. She is like that natural beautiful. Like she's not even wearing a lot of makeup, and even when she is, she still looks that exact. You know what I mean? Like there's a girl with makeup and then a girl without makeup, and they can look like two different people. She is just fucking stunning.
She doesn't put on the Instagram model bullshit. She's an actual model.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, this movie exemplifies how fucking funny Mike Myers is. Holy shit. Can he write a movie? Like, I don't know what happened to him. It was the
Did he
Love
write
Guru. Yes, he did.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah. Like, after Love Guru totally, flew off the fucking planet, is actually a little bit of trivia. The only movie that I've ever walked out of a theater from, because it's fucking awful. I was secondhand embarrassed watching it. But, up until then, he had such a huge track record. It's insane.
Yeah, he's definitely on fire in this film. Now, the later Austin Powers movies, they are still good. I've watched them with my kid. You know, we laughed. Even, Goldmember, I laughed. There's, save me from myself. There's all these little lines that resonate. Even in this film, there's so much to pick at, so much to pull out. And, you know, I've carried bits of this movie since I've watched it.
Oh yeah,
This
having
is kind of like one of those movies that we'll just throw out a line from just, wherever, and, we all get it still.
Well, not only to each other, but as a litmus test to other people. Have a bag of shh with your name on it to see where that takes me.
Or just the random big boy references.
Oh, big boy, aka Shoney's.
The biggest reference I've always taken from this was, I know it's in bad form and people will be like, oh my god, that's homophobic or what the fuck ever, but it's a man, baby, yeah! That's always been something that I've stuck with no matter what. I went to a drag show and there was a guy dancing and he was wearing 60s stuff and all I could think was Austin Powers, so in my head I'm like, it's a man, baby, yeah!
Yeah. But I don't even think it's anything offensive because the joke is so fucking good. That little bit. Okay, so we're in the 60s, right? And, Austin Powers is International Man of Mystery, but he's famous. Everybody knows who he is. So, espionage and, sneakery should be out of the picture, but I guess he's so successful that, everybody loves him.
It's that same trope as in Point Break. You got this fucking collegiate superstar athlete who's now an undercover FBI agent. What do? I surf, bro.
Yeah, he's a legitimate celebrity. He goes to his little 60s pad and there's paparazzos everywhere just taking his picture and whatnot. And to get to that point, if that was offensive with that it's a man, baby, that joke is fucking flawless. Because it's a woman that walks up to him and he has a spidey sense and he decks her. But the person that he lifts off the floor is clearly a dude with a 5 o'clock shadow and a wig.
Oh yeah.
It's hilarious.
Not to mention, you're talking about his celebrity status. Just the intro of Austin Powers in this film is absolutely incredible. He's getting chased by his fans and he goes around the corner and he comes back leading a marching band.
Yeah, it's very Beatlesy or Beatles mania.
Yeah, it's fucking great. And then he runs around the corner to try to hide and there's a cop and the cop leans down, hands on the shoulders I'm going to give you a thumping. But instead he starts breaking into dance too. It's fucking great.
Yeah,
I had
this
a buddy.
is all a dance scene, a musical number, and it's done pretty wonderfully as an intro to not even just a movie, but this is how we get to know this intellectual property. This is Austin Powers.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I had a buddy from high school who absolutely hated how these movies started because he said it was just too flamboyant and flashy. I'm like, dude, it 100% sets the tone of the movie. Just sit back, relax, and watch the world get bushwhacked.
Yeah, I mean, it just lets you know right from the get what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of goofiness and 60s music.
Yeah, it's just going to
but
be...
he is this, somehow still this sex icon, despite, he's not otherwise attractive, and his teeth are terrible. Let's get that out of the way.
I get it. I have bad teeth.
That's such a good line later.
But we're introduced to, at this point, his assistant, Ms. Kensington, who ends up being what's her name's mom, but that's not really important.
Yeah, Mrs. Kensington, like his right-hand agent friend or partner or whatever, and I guess she's married, but in the time of like free love or whatever, like he's always trying to like shag her, but he is 100% respectful to not take that next step.
Yeah, she's kind of like his, 99 to his 86, you know? Anybody get smart? Come on, guys. All right, crickets. Let's move on.
I was like, wasn't Batista in that movie? That's all I could think about.
All right, we're not talking about the movie. That movie doesn't exist. We're talking about the television show, which is one of the greatest shows of all time. Get smart. It's phenomenal. Mel Brooks, get at us.
I'd like to meet Mel Brooks. That'd be nice.
So the titular character, Austin Powers here, he's always wearing this like crushed velvet blue suit with what appear to be table doilies hanging out of the sleeves.
Yeah.
You got those big fucking black frame glasses, and you know he's Mike Myers, but with those teeth and the way they got him constantly, the expression on his face with the slack jaw look of just the ha. He's pretty fucking ugly, but this dude's charisma is like a fucking 30. Everything he says in any situation is perfect.
I think the pinnacle of his charisma is this really subtle moment. Like, after he gets his stuff, after being thawed or whatever, he's just like, oh, the next Kensington is like, hey, you can call me Agent Kensington. And he just, like, gets real close to her. He's just like, oh, come on. And she's like, okay, you can call me Vanessa. He's like, is that so hard? Just, like, little cheekiness.
Yeah, and then he just kind of does, like, a little frolic, away from her.
But just real fast, the plot of this movie is super thin. It doesn't matter, but it's hilarious. So, Austin Powers, international man of mystery. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, you have Dr. Evil, his arch nemesis, doing all kinds of no good.
He was also played by Mike Myers, by the way. Yeah,
this is like Mike Myers light. I feel like with every successive sequel, he just plays one or two more characters. It gets fucking ridiculous. And he thwarts a plan that for him to get assassinated, and he chases Dr. Evil to this rocket, and he cryogenically freezes himself for 30 years. So, of course, Austin Powers, being the agent that he is, he also freezes himself, just in case the world needs him again. So, flash forward from 1967 to 1997.
And then we see the unthawing of Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone, and the introduction of the 3-shell system.
It's very true.
Wait, I missed that. Was that the director's cut?
I think that was the Taco Bell cut.
Oh. But this movie is just full of gags. Like you said, the story, the plot doesn't really matter that much. The core of this movie is every little scene is a gag. And with the unthawing scene, like, honestly, something I think about at least once a month for the past several years. Like, okay, he gets unthawed and they go to, what's it called, evacuation, which is just Mike Myers taking that first long piss after being unthawed after 30 years. And it's just a long stream of piss into the toilet.
That's like the simple way to put it, but it's just like, you can break it down into like these little parts that make it so almost natural. So he's like taking the leak, it's taken forever, right? And then he just does that thing like everybody does when it does take forever. He just puts the hand on the wall, just to brace himself. It's like, ah!
The stream also varies. It starts out like normal, like, and everyone's like, yeah, that's a morning pee, all right.
Oh, yeah.
And then it starts to peter out. And as it's starting to peter out, the first little gag comes when it's like, evacuation, come. And as soon as the computer says come, it's a female voice on the computer, by the way. He's just like, just super strong. Like, his dick is like, what? Just, this happens over and over until finally it just cuts away because they just know that the gag's going to keep going.
And it's just like, it just sputters at the end. It's like blasting piss all over the place. It's like, but it's funny.
So he finally takes the piss, literally and figuratively, and they have him like strapped down and everything. They have to brief him, and like they have Basil, like his M, and then they have this U.S. general and a Russian general. And the first thing Austin sees is the Russian guy. He's like, "Oh, all right, down with the capitalist pigs, comrade."
Yeah.
Glad you guys won. And he's like, Austin, we won. He goes, oh, right then. Okay, capitalism, yay!
That was great. So subtle. Like, as a kid, I never understood that or even paid attention to it, but now that I've been educated on the Cold War just a tad, it's fucking wonderful.
Man, I'll tell you, I just want to keep talking about Get Smart because, alright, you got James Bond, and James Bond is like the serious version of Get Smart. Get Smart is the comical satire, the Mel Brooks version, and then this is just Get Smart amped like 1100 degrees.
Yeah, I get that. It's almost Abrams and whatever that fella's name kind of parody, like the airplane fellas and the Naked Gun guys.
Oh,
Where it's absolutely absurd, but it's not stupid. Like your later movies, like your superhero movie or date movie, even though date movie had one whole joke. Go figure.
I didn't see that because I don't hate myself.
We'll send you the clip of the one good joke.
Yeah, the motorcycle one. Those who are listening, they know.
It's incredible. Like, the first time I saw just that gag, I lost my shit. I felt like it was worth the price of admission to see that joke.
I'd be totally on board if they built the whole movie around that one joke. It's like, this joke's so good we can't let it go. We have to add an extra hour 25 minutes.
The next thing that I have is we actually meet the Ms. Kensington, Elizabeth Hurley, who, as we may state again, is beautiful. And then after that, Austin collects all of his belongings like he's going through or getting checked out of prison.
First, he has to sign his name. Danger Powers. Wait. Danger's my middle name.
Yeah, it's just the look he has of like he knows that's the best joke he's ever told.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, like he's going through his stuff like he's been let out of prison. His crushed blue velvet suit, his like little frilly shirt, his Italian shoes, Buongiorno. Just like regular stuff. He has like a vinyl in there, whatever.
Burt Bacharach plays his hits.
Yeah.
Burt Bacharach is the hits.
But what else does he have in there?
Oh, don't you mean his Swedish-made penis pump?
Oh, that's not mine, baby. There must be some kind of mistake.
Wait a minute. One receipt for Austin Danger Powers for a Swedish-made penis pump.
I tell you, baby, it's not mine. That's not my bag.
One warranty card for one Swedish-made penis pump signed by Austin Danger Powers.
I think I misaligned the quotes there, but the next thing is,
It's like, I swear, baby, it's not my bag, baby. He's like, it's like, Swedish penis pump and me, that is my bag, baby, by Austin Powers. And it has this goofy fucking face holding it on the cover.
Throwing up a peace sign holding it.
Yeah. Like, why? Like, what do you have to prove, man? Just whatever.
And I realize we are ruining every gag in this movie for everyone who hasn't seen it. But honestly, if you haven't seen this movie, why are you listening to this right now?
Go watch it, because we're telling you what's funny. Us saying it and then you seeing it, two different things. You're going to have a ball.
Go watch the movie and come back and have some laughs with us. We're just here just shooting the shit. Don't worry about it. It's not that critical.
He's like, oh, that's not mine. There's a mistake, whatever. And he tries to leave, and then Vanessa kind of gets a little bit away from him, and the guy at the counter is like, he's like, quickly, throws it in the back.
He like shifty eye looks around, see if anybody catches him. Like, all right.
Next, somewhere outside Vegas, we are reunited with Dr. Evil and all of his henchmen.
Yes.
I love how vague that is. Just somewhere outside Vegas, and they show just some desert, just whatever.
It's Dr. Evil and his evil team of just random people, most of which are killed immediately, and we get to see Will Ferrell just sitting there wearing brown face, black face, Middle Eastern face.
I think it's called a fez.
Oh, you're right.
But yeah, we see Will Ferrell in a very early role, like before he was ever a star, and I forget the character's name, but
Mustafa.
Mustafa, and he was in charge of all the calculations of safely freezing Dr. Evil and his cat, Mr. Bigglesworth, and somewhere lost in translation in the dethaw process, Mr. Bigglesworth lost all his fur, so now he's just like this naked dick cat.
Yeah, he's
It's
like
not a
making
cat.
bald pussies.
Is it a legume?
I was throwing out a Friends quote there for everybody.
Oh.
Smelly cat. Smelly cat. What are they feeding you?
I thought you were about to hit us with some knowledge. Like, it's not really a cat, it's this. I was like, shit.
It's a fucking animatronic. I was like, Jesus. But we're treated to another fucking gem of a scene where Dr. Evil's like, you fucked up, now you pay the price. And he hits the little button and he ejects the seat backwards, which dumps the person sitting in the chair, which is Mustafa, Will Ferrell's character, down into this pit where he is burnt. Dr. Evil then tries to continue his spiel, but Will Ferrell, in this very dry way, is like, oh God, can someone please help? I am very badly burned.
I'm still alive, but very badly burnt. Can someone please call an ambulance?
And in a very, like, office spacey kind of, like, boss way, he just kind of, like, sneaks on his little intercom, picks up his phone, he's like, yeah, no, yeah, not dead, no. Okay, thanks. Click. And you hear, like, footstep, door squeak open. Then Mustafa's like, oh, thank God!
You shot me! You shot me right in the arm!
The pause, though, that's what kills me.
The next henchman we are introduced to is Random Task. Yeah. Nothing else other than to be Odd Job from the James Bond movies.
But Random Task is a hell of a fucking line.
It is.
And then we get, like, the more classic Austin Powers sidekicks. So you have, like, Frau Forbissina, who just apparently never changes, ever. She's just always just, like, vaguely Eastern European.
I love that she is head of the evil branch of the Salvation Army.
You know, it's like, there's an SS joke in there somewhere.
Then we get Patty O'Fucking-Bryan and his Lucky Charms.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
That joke's fucking dumb, but the movie treats it properly. I mean, like, there's no better way than the movie also taking a piss on that joke.
It's a shoehorn joke, and everybody sitting in that room knows it's a shoehorn joke, but they still give it a laugh. Like, what we tried to do.
Yeah, just haha. And then you have the most aptly named number 2 man, number 2.
He has been heading up VirtueCon and turning a small business into a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah, you know, to money launder like evil businesses do, you gotta have a front, but it turns out that front has been actually pretty successful.
Yeah, he turned this evil organization into, like, a legitimate powerhouse across the nation.
And which is really weird because Dr. Evil's like, we're going to take over the world for money. It's like, but you're making billions right now.
Billions.
Yeah, that just adds to the absurdity because his evil plan, we learn later on, he wants $100 billion or he's going to blow up the world via volcanoes. And his company makes $6 billion a year.
And I like how that comes back later. You know, spoilers, hey. Whenever number 2 tries to walk out on him, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, look, man, fuck you. I worked so hard taking this little company and turning it into a multi-billion-dollar industry that's thriving, and you want to take over the fucking world. You're ruining it. And he's just like, man, I'm Dr. Evil, sassy, pink my lip.
I gotta do evil stuff. I can't just be like an evil CEO or anything like that.
You just don't fucking get it. That's all.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's a good bit later, too.
The next thing I have is got Austin and Vanessa on his private plane. I don't remember where they're going, to be honest, but this is where Austin makes his first move at Vanessa.
They're flying from England. They pronounce it that way. England.
That general guy.
Yeah. On the way to England. And he has to get over to Vegas to try to fight Dr. Evil. And she's like, hey, Austin, let's fill out these forms. And he goes, let's fuck. Except he doesn't say that.
No,
Yeah,
he's got to
just-
see if his junk still works, right? At least that's
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I give him credit for being so fucking open and honest. He's like, look, it don't have to mean nothing. I just want to see my dick still works. I'm horny. You're hot. Let's do it.
It's all about the meat and 2 veg.
My wedding tackle, baby. Yeah. Ow, ow, ow.
And she obviously says no, but he lures her back there with like a little talk or whatever. Then he hops on this fucking spinning bed that he has in his private jet.
I mean, it's super forced, and I know it's like a culture shock because he's used to the free love thing, but I'd be damned if I don't use that shit with my significant other. That whole like, oh, I fell over. Oh no,
yes.
I've fallen over again. That shit's fucking gold.
I've even done the thing to where you're like making the unwanted sexual advance at your loved one. You're like, come on, come on, come on. And they're like, no. And then, they're trying to get out of the room or not get out of the room or just trying to hang out or do something. And then I'll just go over on the bed and get like in a sexy Austin Powers pose and be like, do I make you horny, baby?
And just get louder at it.
Do I make you horny? And just start like flopping on the bed, kicking my legs all stupid like he does.
She does
Like-
make it clear that she will never, ever, ever have sex with him. And it turns out that was a fucking lie. Spoiler alert.
Oh dang, Maury, dang. But yeah, that's like the first little inkling that it's no longer the 60s. It's no longer free love, free drugs, unclean teeth.
And then it shoots back over to Dr. Evil, and we get the free love aspect, and then we get what's been going on in the absence of Dr. Evil. They said that if he wasn't coming back, or if it felt like he wasn't coming back, to use his frozen sperm to create a son. And they did.
It's Seth Green.
Scott!
Seth Green, in his most angsty role, walks out in this like true 90s garb wearing a Nirvana in utero shirt. I think that's right. And he is just as angsty as can be.
And
Yeah.
so full of angst that the only answer for it is for Dr. Evil to go, come here, Scott, give me a hug. And he's like, no, I don't even fucking know you, man. He goes, wait, I know how to fix this. Just fucking start doing a real shitty version of the Macarena, and Frau
What?
Fräulein, or whatever her name is just sitting in the background, not like approvingly, like yes.
The 2 things that sell that bit is like Frau just fucking jamming in the background, and 2, when he puts his hands on his hip for like the hip thrust, he goes, huh?
Yeah, but there's no expression on the face. It's just the noise.
Yes. He's like, come here, give your father a hug. Don't look at me like I'm fucking Frankenstein. Give your father a hug.
Get away from me, you lazy-eyed psycho!
Yes. Oh god.
The question you gotta ask yourself, though, is, should we shag now or later?
Yeah, and then like it's just a joke, whatever. Because like Austin and Vanessa had finally landed in Las Vegas. They're getting unpacked, trying to get a little comfy. Since women are completely different 30 years later, she sets up some boundaries. Like she gets the bed, he gets the couch. No talk about shagging. Don't worry about it. Whatever. We have a mission to do, and that's what we're here for.
But they do have to pretend to be a married couple so they can infiltrate Dr. Evil's plans or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they know that number 2 is there, and this is how they're gonna get some information, by playing blackjack with number 2.
And being dealt by the soup Nazi.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh yes. I wondered if I saw him somewhere. That's okay. Nice.
Yep.
Like, okay, they're supposed to be undercover. They're not even in a disguise, and then they play a table of blackjack with a gentleman who knows damn well who he is.
Yeah, there's no way he doesn't.
You're like, what was his fucking bogus name that he had? He's like, I'm Mr. Whatever. This is my wife,
Is it
Oprah.
Richie?
Oh, Richie Cunningham.
And this is Oprah. Just so loud.
And number 2 is sitting there, of course, with his woman, Alata Vagina.
Excuse me, but did you just say your name is a lot of... Never mind.
This lady, who is very attractive, looks like Danica McKellar, Winnie Cooper from The Wonder Years, grown up. If she really, really tried to slut it up, I'm kind of into it.
She's the village bicycle. Everyone's had a ride.
I shagged her rotten, baby. Yeah! The Italian bird. But there's a little bit that happens here that they don't explain. So number 2 gets up from the table after living dangerously and goes to the bathroom, and Austin's going to follow him in, but he's not in the bathroom.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tom Arnold is just in the bathroom.
Oh man, he's like, "Oh, I like your get up." He goes, "You in the show?" He goes, "No, I'm British." And he's like, "Oh, sorry." Just
And
goes to
Tom
take a
Arnold
shit.
dressed as a full-ass cowboy too, by the way. So they
Yeah,
both
but-
look ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, okay, he's got his get up, and I'm also Texas, so don't worry about it.
Is it just me, or is it weird that this is actually one of my absolute favorite Tom Arnold roles?
Well, what else do you have to choose from? What, Bully? Was
Charles Navy.
Oh, with Rick Moranis? Wow,
Yeah.
that's a fucking reference, dude.
Yeah.
That'd be like that soccer movie with Ed O'Neill or whatever.
Yeah, like I just don't know what noteworthy has Tom Arnold been in other than Roseanne.
Roseanne.
All right, but yeah, this is honestly a scene that it just pops into my head so often. Who does number 2 work for?
Dude, my man, like, it's every time I take a shit, I'm dead serious. Like, every time. It's so good.
If I'm ever having a rough poop, and I gotta like really just put
You
that
gotta
effort
brace
into it,
yourself up against
Yeah.
the wall. Use the little handle that's made for the
I'm
the
100%.
handicap. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
100% going. Who does number 2 work for?
that's right, buddy. You show that turd who's boss.
Jesus
Whoa.
Christ, Al, what did you eat?
it's so sincere, but also sarcastic, because Tom Arnold's dumb face.
For
Yeah, he's just
context,
fucking smiling.
for context in this, they're both sitting in stalls. Austin gets attacked through the wall somehow by Patty O'Brien, trying to
yeah.
choke him with his
Lucky
bracelet of
Charms.
Lucky Charms, and yeah, that's the result. You get a courtesy flush.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like he's dipping this man's head in the toilet, and it's like with all these bubbles. He goes, "Jesus Christ, man, that sounds horrible." Courtesy flush.
He's like, whoa, take your time over there. You'll blow an O-ring.
It's kind of a crude scene, but it's great. It's
Dude, it's
it's
so good. Just the fact that he's like, "Come on, man, we'll get through this together."
Yeah, it's such a bro moment. He's just there with him the whole time, almost like holding his hand, figuratively.
But that's a quick little cutaway gag, and then he comes back and he's like, "So, was he in there?" He's like, "Nope." And then it just cuts to the United Nations with Dr. Evil giving them like a ransom.
And by them, it's every world leader of a country, asterisk. It's just somebody dressed up in the most stereotypical version of that person's country.
Yes. And none of them are sitting. They're all standing around a table looking at a screen while Dr. Evil's like, "I want $1 million." And they're like, "All right."
And what's great about that is, like, it doesn't even change focus. It's just like number 2 in the background. You see him like with the little finger wag, up, up, up. He's like, oh yes, yes.
I meant
$100 billion. Gas.
That's fucking Sports Center,
that's
man.
Sports Center. Yeah. That's... Hey, Trey Wingo, get at us.
Trey Wingo. But of course, his dastardly deed unravels pretty shortly. So he stole a nuclear arms from the fictional country Kerplakistan, and he wants to put this inside of a drill, send it to the Earth's core, explode it, and covering the world with lava.
And there is so much wrong with that let's not.
It's a movie. It's going to move.
I mean, you could look into the science, but gentlemen, he got that warhead from Kerplakistan.
Yeah,
I guess you're right.
That's the place where Borat came from.
We've got Vanessa actually talking on the phone with her mother, which was Austin's first, I guess, partner agent.
Yeah.
And they're discussing whether or not they should shag, and she's like, "Oh, I couldn't because I loved your daddy, but you should shag him rotten." Bow, bow, bow.
Isn't that kind of fucking weird? Like, I didn't have a chance, but hey, he's got the charisma.
It's a little weird. It's like, did you ever want to shag him?
And
Well,
she's like, fuck yes.
I'm not gonna say no, but
He's like, every
Yes.
woman wanted him, and every man wanted to be him.
And let's not skip over the fact that the whole time they're having this conversation, Austin is waking up, roaming around naked in the
Oh,
back
yeah.
room.
That little gag.
Yeah, with the dick sausage, where she bites it and he's like, "Oh."
That
she
won't
just
be the
with
last
it.
time.
Oh, the balloon. Right. So the whole point of this whole thing, like this little Vegas meeting, is for Austin to figure out what the deal is about Dr. Evil's evil plan.
Well, real quick before that, we actually see a scene of Vanessa and Austin getting along pretty well. Like they have, some drinks, play some drunk twister, maybe do a little bit of light flirting. You see.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
this whole bit is Wayne's World. He is just Wayne 100% here.
Camera 1, camera 2, camera
Yeah.
1, camera 2.
Yeah, you get, Vanessa's maybe actually starting to fall for him a little bit.
Yeah, but she's drunk as shit. Like, the only reason why she made a move is because she had, like, a fuck ton of champagne. And even Austin was gentlemanly enough, was like, no, love, you're drunk.
It wouldn't be right, but you know who he would shag?
Vagina.
The Italian bird.
Yeah, he sneaks in and he's taking some pictures of all this Project Vulcan and that fucking secret Carrot Top movie.
Oh, yeah, it's like TV infomercials, Carrot Top movie. Oh, yeah, Project Vulcan.
A lot of vagina shows up and she's like, "Oh, hey, we should get in this hot tub where my tits float."
Yeah,
Like,
she's got some floaters.
you see her get in the water and her chest goes down and then they go whoop, whoop, and plop up like the Ninja Turtle shells do at the end of Turtles 2.
God. But, like, they have this, like, really fun moment where, like, Austin gets kind of busted and he's trying to play it cool, just like, hey, I'm just sitting here, and she's trying to entice him into the hot tub, right? So she shuts the door and has this, like, whole undressing dance or whatever, and he's losing his fucking mind. And when she's finally done, she comes back in her, like, a little kimono or whatever. He's just, like, perfectly suave, like, who, me? Oh, you shouldn't have. Excuse me.
Fix my erection.
Yeah. And she was so sensual, taking off her clothes. Austin, like, takes, like, 5 fucking minutes to take off a shirt. And when he does, he's so disheveled.
Yeah, he's fucking struggling, and then he gets it off, and his hair's like.
You guys, I don't remember. Was this lady blonde?
No.
Not yet.
Well, you know who else was blonde?
Oh, fuck. You got
It's
me.
that time. What I've got today is from St. Archer Brewing Company. It's a blonde ale. It's their just standard blonde ale. This is from San Diego, California, which is actually just a couple hours down the road from me now.
Ah, San Diego. Spanish for a whale's vagina.
That is true. I have heard that before. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about this beer, this St. Archer Blonde Ale. Pretty crisp, pretty clean. Got just a little bit of hoppy backbone on it. Fairly light-bodied. I mean, even for a blonde ale. Not too sweet. Honestly, like a really good beer to drink all day. Especially if it's hot in Southern California, which it is.
Now, you praised the drinkability just like last week's beer. What would you compare this drink to something more commonly found somewhere else?
You picked the words right out of my fucking mouth. I was going to ask the same thing. I was going to say, for us lay folk, is this a Miller High Time? What is this?
No, not quite like that. It's an ale rather than a lager. Each one of those kind of has like its own certain flavor profile. I don't know what I'd compare it to, like that's mass produced. It's a blonde ale, but most big craft breweries have a blonde ale that just their standard blonde ale. I'm trying to think of something just off the top of my head, like.
Well, I thought that was going somewhere else because I thought you had said the most big. Like that's how you're describing something.
The bigliest.
The bigliest.
Yeah.
In big and small man.
But no, like this is just a solid example of a blonde ale. Nothing too special about it. It's not bad. It's not amazing. I would drink 7 of these in one day if given the opportunity, especially on a hot day like today. Yeah.
Are you saying that you have had 7 of those today?
No, this is the first one of these that I've had today. I
Good.
did have another beer earlier, but I'm not going to talk about that because I might have that on another cast.
Just as long as you don't have a penchant for buggery.
I always have a penchant for buggery. Anyway, so what I should have saved this blonde ale for was the fembots, because they are just about to make their appearance.
Yeah, they is.
Yeah, it looks like Frau Farbissina has a secret weapon to battle Austin Powers' mojo with some fucking robo-sexual shit.
they come out to the what is it, Patsy Cline?
It is not fucking Patsy Cline, and I knew somebody would say that. It's Nancy fucking Sinatra.
Whoever.
She's a legume.
You keep saying you got something for me. Something you call love, but confess. Chandler, you keep messing where you shouldn't be a messing. Now someone else is getting all the best.
I mean, down.
But then he just shoots up the guards with their machine gun jumblies.
Oh, like it's so funny, like how they came out in like direct attention, like we're guards, we're guarding. They come out, guns pointed and everything, and they see these women with just like mechanical titties, and the guy's just like, yeah, okay.
Well, can't shoot no titties, but them titties shoot me.
Wasn't that a Marilyn Manson album, Mechanical Titties?
The beautiful titties. But Marilyn Manson's the one wearing them.
Oh, yeah, he'd do that.
Yeah.
Then he get to like a drunken fist fight with John 5 and get his shit pushed in.
Literally.
Didn't he have some ribs removed or something?
He's so fat now it wouldn't matter anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, Marilyn.
Yeah, remove all of that. So after we're introduced to the fembots, the deadly fembots with the machine gun jubblies, is that what they're calling them?
Please.
It's the word on the street.
We have Vanessa walking Austin through the secret devices that the company has for him, including like a watch with GPS, because that was fancy in 1997.
Yeah.
And then also toothpaste and a toothbrush and dental floss.
He thinks it's 4 and a garrote wire.
Yeah, it's like, they had this like great, quote unquote, great array of like spy gadgets, and he sees this like dental stuff, and he's like, oh, this is that, and then Vanessa's just like, no, your fucking teeth are horrendous. Knock that shit off and go brush.
Brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your goddamn teeth.
What was his name? M? Is like, oh, Austin, I'd like you to meet my mother. And then Austin sees her. Basil, whatever the fuck his name is. And
you should remember that. You've got a friend named Basil, and every time you say his name, I think of this. I think of Austin Powers.
Well, I've seen Basil's mom in real life, my friend Basil, and I didn't want to punch him in the punch her in the face and go, "It's a man, baby."
Well,
but it's
maybe
not.
You should.
Man, what if that was like a thing that you did one day? You just had the urge, this uncontrollable, and you just deck this lady, and you're like, it's a man, baby, and you just fucking Scooby-Doo a mask off.
Oh my god. Face off.
I want to take his face and put it on my face, but leave the rest of my body exactly the same, yet somehow change it all.
Is that a Tool song?
83%.
What's the next scene? We got the Carrie Fisher scene.
There's a Carrie Fisher scene?
Yeah.
Father-son therapy.
What'd you say?
The therapy?
Yeah, we got the family therapy scene with Dr. Evil and Scotty. And the therapist is Carrie Fisher.
Oh, shit. Like, I have, like, zero recollection of what she looks like between Blues Brothers and her fucking cocained out fucking whatever in Star Wars Force Awakens.
Same, though. But yeah, that's Carrie Fisher.
So, Dr. Evil and Scott are here to try to patch up their relationship because Dr. Evil is actively trying to kill Scott for being less than what he wants.
Like, none of them believe them either. This is like, he's trying to kill me. And he's like, oh, no, you don't have to be, like, super hyperbole about it. And he's like, no, I'm actively trying to kill him. Yes, he's like, but, he's actually quite spry, like his old man.
Well, let's hear a little bit about you, Dr. Evil. And then he has this fucking spiel.
The monologue is so good.
It's good.
Like, I see this monologue, the text, pop up on Reddit, and it gets me a little bit. And then I'm like, oh, that's fucking Dr. Evil.
Yes.
No, it's so good.
Anybody have it in their pocket?
I don't at all.
Bits of it. My father had a penchant for buggery, and my mother had webbed feet.
Oh no, would you see a horror or something? Like the town horror with webbed
She was
feet?
the town horror with webbed feet, and he had the general malaise that a genius would have, and the insane would lament. Just
Like, what does that even mean?
There really is nothing like a shorn scrotum.
it's really quite breathtaking.
Gross.
then it cuts back to Austin and Vanessa, and Austin is talking with Basil, and Basil's like, "Oh yeah, he's got all the info. He got it from a lot of vagina last night." And it cuts to Austin like shaking his head vigorously, like, "No, no, 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 no." And then Vanessa turns, looks at him, and just smiles.
That's kind of weird because like they had this little moment like she can't believe what happened, and then in the next scene they're back at the hotels just talking about it. And he's like, "Yeah, I shagged her." He did like,
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be jealous. Well, you should be jealous. It's true. I shagged her rotten.
yeah, exactly, just like right out of the gate. And like, well, then why try to hide it?
Well,
like,
did you use protection at least? Of course, I had my 9mm.
A condom. Condoms
No,
for
only-
sex, baby.
Only sailors use those.
And then I forget exactly what she says.
Not in the 90s. Well, they should. They go from port to port.
Something like this.
But she drills into him. He's like, if we want to be together, somehow she's okay with being together over like a night, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you want to be together, you have to think more modern. Like, it's not the 60s anymore, it's the 90s, and you're going to be alone. And he's just like, sad face, as he drinks and has to watch like fucking A&E for like 9 hours.
It's fucking
You
just
say-
History Channel.
You say drinks. What is he drinking? He's drinking a whole lot of Tab.
Yeah, it's a beverage.
He's got like some pumped up shoes, and he's the fall of the Berlin Wall. And then she wakes up in the morning and sees that he's still watching all this. She goes, "You know what? I have a hard time sometimes remembering that you've missed 30 years."
It's been 2 days. It's been 2 fucking days.
My favorite bit though is that they're going on and on about like the fall of the Berlin Wall, the Cold War, all this, that, and the other. And she goes, "That's a lot of stuff to take in." He goes, "Yeah." And that Liberace, can you believe that he was gay? That one came out of left field.
Yeah, women loved him. And I loved his like little checklists of like people that I know. Jimi Hendrix, deceased. Drugs. Janis Joplin, deceased. Alcohol. Mama Cass, deceased. Ham sandwich.
Rest in peace, Mama Cass.
But now they have to go
Oh.
get more information, and they figured out that VirtueCon is where they need to go, and VirtueCon does a tour every hour.
For whatever reason. Just
And so
whatever.
they grab up some disguises, and this is where we're first treated to the love guru look of Austin Powers.
Yeah, that's straight up what it is.
It's rough. It's not quite brown face, but he has like the whole like Indian outfit get up, like your stereotypical, like whatever pops in your mind, that's exactly what it is. He has like the dumb fucking stuck on beard and everything.
Yeah.
Who was that guy that ran a cult in Oregon that there's a Netflix series about now? He looks like that guy, except white.
I was like, what was Vanessa in? Just like some like whatever.
Yeah, she looks like a stripper or something, a go-go stripper.
Just because she's hot, that doesn't make her a stripper.
She's wearing fucking like silver knee-high boots, a mini skirt, a crop. She looks like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. That's what she looks like.
And those boots are made for walking. So what are you gonna do?
That's what they'll do. Because they see 2 people come out of the secret no-access door. One is gigantically tall.
Yeah,
The other is gigantically wide.
I was hoping somebody was gonna point that out. Like they're gonna swap disguises with these scientists who are in complete opposite ends of the spectrum of dimensions.
And then they go in and come out wearing the suits, the lab coats, and everything fits tailor-made.
And of course, the bathrooms are right next to the top secret entrance of like where Project Vulcan's taken care of.
That's a feature, not a bug.
Thanks, Bethesda.
And this is where we get introduced to Austin Powers' judo chopping people. And they have to try to get away from this big battle, and they jump into a steamroller.
I mean,
Oh, yeah, this scene.
it's one of the best bits in the whole movie. Like, you get Michael McDonald, he's like a random, from Mad TV, he's like this random guard, like a fucking football field away. And he's like, no!
Move! Move! No! Move!
And it cuts back and forth from like the driver's seat to Michael McDonald's face screaming no, to the far view to let you know still how far away he is. And it does this 3 or 4 times before finally it slowly rolls over him. And the second they kill him, they just jump out of it. Like they could have just got out of it at any time, but they needed to crush him first.
Yeah, they're like, ew, let's get out of here.
Well, luckily, Jesus is just all right with him. Michael McDonald? The Doobie Brothers?
Oh, she came from somewhere back in the long ago.
Yeah, it's the same name, two different people, but I wanted to make that joke.
So once they jump out, random Task comes out, coconuts them, and captures them.
Coconuts them.
Yeah, it's the wrestling term where you bonk two people's heads together. Coconuts.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For a second, I was just thinking like that was a term from like back in the day when they knocked people. I thought too much about it. Don't worry. Keep going.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I guess I'm gonna have to subscribe to the WWE Network.
You fucking
Sponsor us. I wouldn't mind having like a weekly woo.
Woo!
Yeah. See.
Now, after they get captured, it cuts to Dr. Evil once again, explaining his amazing plan with the Vulcan drill, how it's going to dig to the center of the Earth, unleashing magma. And he sits in his little rolly chair and just fucking rolls away, and he has to do that little beep, 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 scoot thing.
That's such a little thing, but it's honestly so good.
Yeah, because it just deflates the whole ego of the situation. Like he's got these guys captured. He's about to take over the world.
Like, that's just the thing. There's so many little things in this movie that I feel like are a little part of real life that are just fucking funny when captured in a movie.
Oh yeah, like for some reason, like he changed their clothes into some pseudo futuristic nonsense, and he immediately brings it up because he's super proud about it. It's like, how do you like my pseudo futuristic attire? I designed it myself.
Then Scotty comes walking out, and he's talking about how him and his buddy had such a cool day because they were like, "Get on my face, bro! It's so fucking stupid." And he goes, "Well, what were you doing?" It's like, "I was thinking about going back in my room. There's a good titty movie on Skinamax."
And this is how you spend your life, right? And even Austin Powers is like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
But he's like reaching over to hit the little red button to burn Scott.
And Frow's like, no.
Just to slap his hand away. That's a good little bit.
And of course, Austin and Vanessa are captured, so this whole thing is just to get them into like an easily escapable situation.
And he even says that. He's like, I'm going to put you in this overly complex capture and leave you alone so I don't have to actually see you die.
Yeah, I'll leave you in this easily escapable situation with one inept guard.
Yeah.
How about you just give me a gun? I got one in my room. I can just go over there and blow his brains out right now. He goes, "You really just don't get it, do you, Scotty?"
like it's all just drama and show anyways, like showmanship.
Yeah.
How am I gonna get friggin' 3 movies out of this if you kill him now? I can't do voices, guys.
It's okay. We still love you. He goes, "What we have in the water, Mr. Powers, is sharks with laser beams." And he's like, "We actually couldn't get the sharks. Well,
They're
what do
endangered.
we have? Sea bass. Sea bass? Yes, mutated. Oh, mutated. Are they at least ill-tempered? Oh, definitely. That's a start."
Yeah.
Are they ill-tempered?
Thank you, my cycloptic colleague.
It's I wanted it to keep going. It's like, can they bite? Yes, they can chew.
No. Then we get into the whole bit of Scotty being like, "Come on, just let me." He's like, "Shh, I got the whole bag of shh with your name on it."
A preemptive shh for later.
This is such a memorable scene, too. Just like fucking years later, you remember this scene.
Because in this one in particular, not only is it silly, but it's totally something that two relatives would do to each other when they're fucking annoyed with each other.
Let me tell you a little story about a man named Shh.
My favorite one, and I still use it to this day, is when a problem comes along, you must shh.
Even before you start, that's a preemptive shh.
It's
Just
like
know
that.
that I have a whole bag of shh with your name waiting on it.
There you go. That was a good one. Impression-wise.
That's probably my best one yet. Don't get used to it.
So then we cut back to Austin, and he's got to get out of this situation, and Vanessa's like, "What are we going to do, Austin?" He goes, "I don't know. I think I'm going to soil myself and then try to figure something out." And she goes, "Well, what if we use the dental floss?" He goes, "I get it. I have bad teeth."
But him soiling himself was his plan A. It's
Yeah.
like, what's your plan? Well, my plan is to soil myself. Then after that, think of a better plan.
And they end up using floss to Indiana Jones across a pipe.
And by the way, this floss goes from like floss thickness to like, it's a rope now.
It is totally a rope now.
Like, if it was any other movie, one of us would say, movie's got a movie, but whatever.
Yeah, this is fine. He swings across, judo chops some toothpaste in the guard's eye, sticks his head in the water with the ill-tempered sea bass that then chew his head off.
By the way, where did this floss and toothpaste come from? Because Dr. Evil changed their clothes.
Magic pockets.
Prison wallet.
The prison wallet, yep. Vanessa just had toothpaste right up her pussy.
This is where it starts to get good because Vanessa needs to go get help, and Austin's like, I'm going to take care of this on my own. And he goes running into a room, and the fembots are there waiting on him.
Hello.
And they basically like seduce him super quick, like instantly. And he's like laying in the bed, like Bram Stoker's Dracula, with the succubuses all over him.
I just love how quick it was. Like, he's just like, you're just being ladies. And they have like some like fucking love smoke or whatever coming out of those jubblies. Yeah. And like he's immediately like disheveled again with his like cocked glasses and his messed up hair, just like whoa.
I did that. That transition is great. He's like normal Austin, smoke cloud, disheveled hair, sideways glasses, and he's like, okay, I'll get in the bed with y'all.
Yeah.
But then he's conscious enough to know, like, he's got to get out of this situation. So to talk himself out of doing something bad, he thinks of Margaret Thatcher on a cold day.
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day.
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day.
But like he went through his paces first. He's like baseball, some other stuff, and then finally he couldn't take it anymore.
He had to pull out the big guns whenever the lady stood over him in a miniskirt without undies.
But then the tables turn, right? Like he gets up, he's like, oh, Mr. Powers, you can't resist stuff. He's like, au contraire, I think it's you that can't resist me. And he starts fucking putting on the mojo.
I love myself. I want you to love me.
He had some fucking cool tricks. Like he counts one of them sensually, and he has like 8 cigarettes immediately, and he has like one of those like fancy burners or whatever that you use for like souffles or something.
Yes. And then he's fucking just rocket tossing the cigarettes into each one of their lips while he rubs his nipples and smacks his ass so many times that causes a short circuit via his overpowering sexuality.
And like the absolute pinnacle is when he just tears off all his clothes in one swoop, and he has this fucking Union Jack Speedo underpants.
And just like it always does, right now is when Vanessa just happens to run by.
He's still dancing too.
Yeah. Vanessa.
I mean, he's having a good time.
Vanessa, it's not what it looks like. At ease, gentlemen. Likewise. It's his
I
dick.
love that. She's like, I believe you, Austin. He's like, oh, thank God. And then they're going away, and the one guard stays back to keep looking at him.
Oh, yeah, like a little wink. Like, tee hee. And of course, this is when, like, I don't want to say shit hits the fan, but, you know, this, like, super agent moment. And, like, they break into the door where Project Vulcan's being developed. And, like, Austin's right back in his, like, classic attire and everything. And Vanessa's in here, like, well, in her mom's outfit that she had at the beginning of the movie.
Now it's, like, big shootout, classic spy scene where Austin can't miss anybody, but everybody misses Austin, and it's got the Secret Agent Man song playing, which is fucking flawless.
Yeah, it's super satisfying too. Like it's like, well, it's fun action. It's not good action. And they got like Dr. Evil in his like little get up. He's trying to get away. His like fucking microwave outfit that's slippery on every surface apparently.
Yes. And then, you know, right before the world's destroyed, Austin hits the big red stop button. Dr. Evil has escaped the room, and he knows he's done in, so he's got to make the big getaway, and the only way he can make the getaway is if he has his cat, Mr. Bigglesworth. So he's standing there with like a 55-pound fucking bag of Meow Mix, shaking it and singing the jingle.
This movie is 100% the reason why I know that fucking jingle. I want chicken, I want liver, Meow Mix, please deliver.
Meow Mix, sponsor us.
Right now.
And then fucking Austin comes running in. He's like, give it up, Dr. Evil. And they have this back and forth about, you know, freedom, baby, yeah. And Austin being an aging hipster.
Oh, yeah. Nothing worse than an aging hipster.
Yeah.
A lot of vagina captures Vanessa. It's like,
Somehow.
oh no, what are we going to do?
And then number 2 walks in with a gun and a briefcase full of fembots.
Yes. And I love that he should know better, but he doesn't. So he starts talking shit to Dr. Evil like, you're ruining my company. I'm willing to negotiate with you, Austin. And he sits down in the fucking chair that he knows is going to dump him into a fire pit. And Dr. Evil, of course, just goes, burp, hits the button and burns him up.
Rookie mistake, right out of the game. Can't believe
That's
it.
why he's number 2. Because he's
Yeah.
There's a little bit more of a gunfire exchange while Dr. Evil runs and jumps into his cryogenic escape pod, once again blasting off into space in his big boy rocket. And the self-destruct sequence has been initiated, and everyone has to run out, and Austin's car is waiting out there, and he has this big action runaway scene where he does the front flip, but he hits his, crotch on the stick shift now.
You can say balls.
His wedding tackle gets smashed into the stick shift as we're treated to a stock footage nuclear explosion.
Oh yeah, as soon as the timer ticked to 0, it released some stock footage.
Yeah, just 1960s.
So at the end of the day, the world's saved, and you got Austin and Vanessa. They're back at the hotel, shagging about, and Basil calls them, and he's like, "Oh, congratulations on your honeymoon, Mr. and Mrs. Powers." Like, "Oh, okay, everything's fantastic."
This is 3 months later, so within 3 months and 2 days of them meeting, they are now married and on their honeymoon.
But wait, there's more. Fucking random hand job shows up.
Yeah, and fucking sneaks in the room and hits Austin in the head with a shoe, and he goes, "Ow, that really hurt. Who throws a shoe? I mean, seriously."
Honestly.
You fight like a woman.
And then it goes once again into Wayne's World. He's like, "Boo!" And they get into this really shitty kung fu action sequence.
And the only way to defeat this foe is his sweetest made penis pump.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. He, just goes at it on him.
Yeah, he blows up a guy's dick. You can say it.
I was gonna say, man, that is an odd job.
Ooh! I like
Like
Just think about that for a second. The man put a pump on another man's dick and pumped it till it burst like a hot dog in a microwave.
It's not gay.
He gave him the old Oscar Mayer treat.
Oh,
no. We don't talk about that.
You got Oscar Mayer, bitch. But yeah, and then it cuts to Dr. Evil, all frosty in space, swearing vengeance with Mr. Bigglesworth.
And obviously, this is getting set up for a second one. No doubt about it. He's out in space. He'll be back in a couple of years. We're going to get ready for the one with Heather Graham in it, who is also a very good-looking woman.
Now, there's a lot of movies that set up a sequel. This was one of the movies that whenever I saw it and I saw that they set up for the sequel, I was genuinely excited. I was like, hell yeah, I'll watch another one.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie is such an easy watch. Like, this was like an hour and a half, and it breezes the fuck by.
It does.
The comedy is rock solid, though a bit dated. You had mentioned earlier in our little group chat that this movie's like a time capsule of the 90s, and that is 100% correct.
But here's why it's so easy to watch. It's because the plot doesn't matter at all. The scenes that you care about are just the scenes. Like, the dialogue is the dialogue, regardless of what scene it's in, and it's fucking good.
Yeah, each little piece is like its own little microcosmos. So when something's happening, it's driving the plot along, but it doesn't matter because that scene would have been good by itself as just like a short.
100%.
And most movies like this fall apart because they feel like non sequiturs. But what makes movies like Austin Powers or Airplane or Naked Gun work? Because it's charming. You have good talent writing. You have good talent in front of the camera who know how to schmooze the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking loved it. I thought it's a ton of fun. My son, who didn't grow up back when this humor was funny, he still finds it amusing. Like, all the fucking Austin Powers films, he'll watch each one of them and just crack the fuck up.
Now, I'll tell you, this is honestly not my favorite Austin Powers movie. My favorite is Goldmember. I think that's a controversial opinion, but whatever. But this movie is still hilarious. I will still watch it, and I will still enjoy it every single time.
That is the most passionate you've ever been about a movie. I like it. Now, for me, my favorite's the second one, but like the first one's not very far behind. Like this movie is a fucking treat. Just like you fellas said, like if it's on TV, I'm gonna watch the rest of it. It's a fucking blast. If anybody listening right now has not seen at least the first Austin Powers, give it a watch. It's a little dated, but it fucking works. I feel like it will work for years and years to come.
Yeah, people will see it and go, you know what? I'll watch the second one. Oh man, the second one was good. I'll watch the third one. That was pretty fun too. Or as Chandler would say, that's fucking great.
Yeah, I like the third one quite a bit. I like the first one quite. They're all good. Watch them all.
Just like Meow Mix, it just fucking delivers.
Ooh,
hell yeah.
Nice.
On that note, that was Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery from 1997. If you have any strong feelings about the cast or this movie, leave them in those comment section below.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to hit that bell icon so you know next time we've got another one brewing.
Get out there and check us out on all of our different social medias. We get that Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. And if you don't get out there and check it out, we'll have to come to your house and shag you rotten, baby. Yeah!
Oh, Blackwater, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on?
See, that's what I'm going to keep to the very end of the podcast.